Okay, so in our lessons index, we display all the lessons. And what if we want to display the lessons not only in lessons index? For example, we go to the course show page, and if there are any lessons, we will also display them. Well, we don't have to copy and paste this calendar. We can just turn it into a partial and render it where necessary. So let's go to our lessons and create a partial called calendar.html.erb. And in this partial, we'll place this responsive table with the calendar here. And instead of having the calendar in our view, we will render it. We will say equals render lessons/calendar. Let's see if the partial works. I go to lessons to see, and it works. Okay, we see this partial. Now let's open one of the courses and render this partial in one of the courses, in the courses show. So here under everything, we will render the lessons calendar, but we get undefined method reject for nil class. Well, because we didn't define what lessons are in our courses. So in our courses controller, in the show view, we will say add lessons equals add course.lessons. And voila, we see the lessons for this course 1, 2. Let's just check. This is course number 2, lesson. Yes, these two lessons are for the same course. I go to next, and I see more lessons for this particular course. So it works. We can display lessons for a specific course. Let's go to the second course, to the course with the ID 1, and we see lessons that are for the course with the ID 1. So inside, when we open a course, we see the lesson for this particular course. And actually, we can create a totally separate view where we will see just the calendar. And let's do it. Let's see what controllers we have. Application controller, classrooms. We have the static pages controller. And here we will create, here we can create one more action to see just a calendar. But we'll create it here. We'll say def calendar, and we'll say add lessons equals lesson dot all. Okay, now we will create a root. We go to config, roots, and here we will say get calendar to the controller action static pages calendar. Now we will create a separate view. In static pages, we will create calendar.html.erb. And inside, we can just render this calendar. Now let's go to /calendar. And here we see just the calendar. So let's make it also visible in our navigation. Let's go to our layouts, header, and we will create a new link to calendar path. The icon will be calendar, and here calendar, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so here we have a calendar. Now we can make it look better. Let's say calendar alt. There must be something like this. Yeah, so here we have our calendar icon. And when we go to calendar, we see just the calendar. And looks quite nice. Now, again, in this calendar, we see all the lessons for all the courses, all the classrooms, all the users. And actually, we can display some more data about each of these lessons. So now we see just the lesson ID. We will display the course ID, the user, the classroom, and so on. So let's go to our calendar partial and say, so this is the ID 117, and we'll display some more data. So we'll have course, and we'll have the course ID equals link to, or just lesson dot course ID. We have the information about the ID of the lesson, ID of the course, then ID of the user, lesson dot user ID, ID of the classroom, lesson dot classroom ID, and we can also display the start time. Let's say start lesson dot start. And we don't need to have the date here, we have the date above, so we'll have just the time. So start dot strf time, it will be hours and minutes. Okay, and here we have the detailed information about each lesson, the ID, the course, the user, the classroom, and the start time. We can of course turn all this information into links. So it would be like link to lesson course, lesson user, lesson classroom, and here it would be at lesson.course, then it would be at lesson.user, and lesson.classroom. Let's see if it works. Okay, a syntax error somewhere. Where is it? I'm not sure. Let's try to delete some of the information. Okay, it's somewhere here. Maybe we should actually state lesson path, or actually course path at lesson.course. Let's see if the error is there. Okay, this is fixed. Maybe the error is in lesson.user. Yeah, so we should actually state user path at lesson.user and classroom path at lesson.classroom. Okay, here I have this error. Yeah, now looks good. So now we have all the links. Here we have 2 lessons, and we have links to the course ID, the user ID, and the start time. You see the start time for these 2 lessons is different. And the earlier time is earlier. So looks good. Now we've created a separate calendar view, and if we go to the course, we see just the lessons for this particular course. So looks quite fine to me. Now, what if we try to style the calendar just a bit more and also display it in a card? Let's just try to see how it would look. We have our calendar partial, and we would add it into a card. So how does a card look? Somewhere we must have a card. Let's go to lessons new. Here we have a card with a card header, card body. I'll just copy the style and go to edit in the calendar. So each calendar partial will be in a nice card. And we'll say card shadow, and we will leave just the card body and display this whole calendar inside the card body. Let's see if it will look nice, if it looks better or not. Okay, and now we have the calendar in this special card. So looks not bad, and it is your choice to leave it in the card or not leave it in this card. So we can skip from one month to another. If we go to lessons, we see this calendar in this card. Of course, we can add some kind of additional breaks on top and before if it like. If we'll go to a course, here again we see the card with the calendar. And that's it. We have displayed more information about the lessons. We've moved the lessons to a partial, and we've created a separate calendar view where we see the calendar for everything. That's it. Thank you.